Hi friends, and welcome here. I am going to be sharing another meal prep with you today, and I just hope that you're having just the most beautiful day and just wishing you all the best for this coming week. I am starting off with the steel cut oats this morning, and I'm gonna be starting with prepping those. I have been loving these, honestly, just having them ready, and Leanie absolutely enjoys these with some blueberries, the same way I shared it last time. It is absolutely delicious. You should try it. Super easy to make. Just add a few ingredients together, pop it in your Instant Pot, and set it and forget it until it's done in 4 minutes. Well, you have to naturally release it, so a little bit longer, but they're super easy to make, so I highly recommend that you give these a try. And for our grain this week, I am using brown rice. I remember just like in the very start of my plant-based journey, I just opted for white rice because I absolutely just disliked brown rice, just along with like a lot of different things that I now love, but brown rice was definitely one of those things that I just did not enjoy, and now it is possibly my grain of choice for like Buddha bowls or grain bowls. It's just so, I don't know, I like it. I like the texture. I love the taste of it. Now I find it way more flavorful than even white rice, which is pretty cool. It just shows how your taste buds change over time. But just making this in my rice cooker, I love having two different devices for these things just because it allows me to multitask and make the best use of my time. Now, the next thing that I am going to be prepping are some black beans this week. Last week I prepped some pinto beans, or like a few weeks ago I prepped some pinto beans, but this time we're going with black beans. If you're not a huge fan of making your own beans, that is totally fine. You do not have to. All the more if you want to keep your meal prep even less, if you want. You could buy some canned beans, put them in your pot, add some seasonings, the same ones I'm using, and the beans are just as good. And afterwards, my favorite method that I showed last time is to soak them in hot water. It just speeds up the cooking time. You could also leave them soaking overnight, but I usually don't always remember, so this is just my little hack to kind of get them to cook a little bit faster. And these are the things that I'm going to be making too. I'm going to be making some lentil kale soup. I just need to go buy some stuff at the store, and I'm gonna try to make this vegan banana bread that I absolutely love. It's so good. It's super healthy, much better than the other banana breads out there, so definitely excited to make that. And I'm also going to be restocking my tofu scramble jar. I just add a mix of turmeric, curry powder, onion powder, garlic powder, salt and pepper, and I keep it very simple. Sometimes I do add nutritional yeast, but usually I don't. And here is me and my little one just enjoying the cuddles because he wanted to, be a part of this meal prep too. And as it has been happening lately, I actually don't end up getting to just fully finish a meal prep because I have two little ones. One is temporarily watching Bluey, the other one needed some snuggles. I left the carrier in the car, which makes it that much more difficult to kind of multitask, but it's okay. Leanie's gonna eat her lunch. I'm giving her like some pasta that I made her in case to give some of you some ideas for like lunch, and then she's having her little grape juice, and then I also am giving her this Cliff Bar. She actually has really been enjoying this. Yesterday, well, she's not a fan of chocolate, but for whatever reason yesterday she actually enjoyed it, so I'm gonna make it in little pieces for her on her little plate. And oh yeah, and then after, my thought process is the beans are still sitting on the stove, just kind of waiting for them to fluff up a little bit. And then the oatmeal is done. The rice is about to be done just in time because once she finishes, we're gonna go on our nap walk. They'll both fall asleep, and then I'll be able to finish. Well, I'll go to the store. Also, I'll walk to the store as they're during their nap walk, and I'm gonna go get some celery. I forgot the celery for this, but I have pretty much everything else, which is pretty awesome to make this lentil kale soup. And this is one of my favorite soups of all time. It's so easy and simple to put together. So I just need some, some celery. So I'll be getting that. And then this is one of those things that I want to make, but if I don't get to it, that's totally fine. It's this banana bread. I have enjoyed making a pastry every single week if I can. Now, most weeks are busy, and so it's kind of hard to find something for like something that's optional like this, a treat, but we'll see. I know some of my coworkers have also been asking for like another pastry, so maybe I'll make this and then I'll share with them and see how that goes. But I'm gonna link both of these down below in case you're interested. But for now, that's what we've made. Oh, I also made like the tofu spice mix. I'm gonna try to see if I could get it done before the rice is finished, as Leanie's eating and as Teo is kind of sitting down in his little stroller for a little bit, for like 5 minutes, because that's super easy to throw together again. And yeah, the tofu scramble, feel free to also add in some mushroom. I'm not much of a mushroom fan unless it's like on pizza or like in a pasta sauce where you can't even, like, you know, mince very finely. But even in tofu scramble, I am just not the biggest fan of it. So, but if you love mushrooms, I suggest adding mushrooms in your tofu scramble. Victor really likes it and he thoroughly enjoys it. But for my tofu scramble, that's a no for me. It's just gonna have just some spinach and some kale, and we'll keep it very simple. So let's go on to making that tofu scramble. If you don't like mashing with your hands, this is just much faster, but my preferred method of doing it is to crush it up with like a potato masher, but don't have time for that. So I'm just gonna throw that in my pan, crumble it up, and add about 3 cups of kale. I'm using frozen, you could use fresh as well, but this is just so much faster. It's like a mix of kale and spinach, and it works for us. And then I'm going to be adding some of that seasoning that I just prepped up and adding in some more salt, since I don't add much salt to the little jar. So I'm just adding additional salt. I did do like a block and a half of tofu, so yes, we want it nice and tasty and flavorful, and I like it to be bright yellow, kind of let that turmeric and curry color just kind of brighten up, and that's kind of how I know when it's ready. But you find however you enjoy your tofu scramble, but I love this. This is so good. I love it on a bagel with some green salsa, or some beans, some black beans, and tortillas. So good. Just some ideas. And just about this time, my oatmeal was done, which is great. See, you kind of multitask. This is why I love meal prepping, because you can kind of get things all done at once and don't have to worry about it. My oatmeal is done, my rice is done, and we are good to go. Now, I did head to the grocery store just because I needed to pick up some celery for that lentil kale soup, and I also needed some extra tofu and bananas. And now I'm going to start making my beans. They have soaked up all of that water, and now we are going to rinse them off, and I'm going to be adding in some onion and my seasonings to make these beans taste super delicious. Now, to prep my lentil soup, this is one of my favorite types of soups. The recipe doesn't call for potatoes, but I'm going to be adding some anyways, just because I have a lot of potatoes that just a sweet neighbor dropped off for us, so I'm going to be using some of those. And just make the soup. It's so good. It's a lentil soup, but I don't know why this one specifically is just, I've been making it on repeat a couple times a month because it's just so flavorful and it's just so hearty, and I'm in love with lentils again, so that's great. And that is it for me today. I didn't get around to making that banana loaf, but I did the following day. Because of how busy my schedule is, I don't always get around to being able to film everything, but make it. It's delicious. I will link it down below for you. And the beans, everything turned out absolutely delicious. Super easy, small meal prep, but it doesn't always have to be super fancy and super elaborate. I hope that you have just the most wonderful day and enjoy some yummy plant-based food. Have yourself, again, just the most wonderful day and the most wonderful week. I'm praying for you guys. I'm just so thankful just to be able to be back and talk to you. And here's a little snippet of just, life and how it's been treating us, and just praising the Lord for all his good gifts and blessings. Yeah, have a great one. See you in the next video very, very soon. Bye.